A lot of you have asked, so today we're finally checking out what may possibly be the best split pad / Pro Joy-Con controllers for the Nintendo Switch. Welcome to It Came From a Box. This is Sergio AM. I've checked out a lot of split pad controllers, but this is the one I've waited on the longest, which is also the one you all recommended the most. In the box, you get the manual, an extra set of white faceplates that attach magnetically, a traditional cross D-pad that you can swap out for the attached circular one, a set of octagonal analog stick rings, and the controllers themselves. Now, sadly, there's no sign of an adapter to connect them so you can use them like a traditional controller, but that's not a huge deal. I also got my hands on 2 of their faceplate kits that come in these tin boxes. In here, we get the shells. I went with their pastel light purple and a light blue, but you can also get them in pink. Then we get 2 extra pairs of stick tops, as well as a colored set of D-pads. Finally, I also got their carrying case. It's hard shell, and inside it has 10 game card slots on this screen protecting flap. Underneath, we have space for a few accessories, and we have a strap to help eject the console. It's pretty generic, but it gets the job done, and if you don't have a bag or case for these, I'd highly recommend it because you don't want to get them damaged when you're on the go. The controllers have this organic, bubbly, dare I say, chubby design, and this HD version comes in black with an extra pair of white faceplates, which would be awesome to customize. But, like I said, you can also get them in different colors to mix and match. In all black, they're a bit plain, but they look much better when either mixed together or with those colored shells. As you can see, they're angled out, and on the rear we have curvy grips with a texture that wraps all around the back. They also have a good weight to them, and altogether, they feel very comfortable to hold, and as you can see, they're just the right size for your thumbs to easily reach every input. Now, the plastic they used feels very good quality. It doesn't feel cheap and hollow like some of the others I've tested. Quick look around and you can see that they're also pretty well put together with a very nice fit. No loose or janky parts, but I did notice that there's a bit more friction when attaching them on the rails of the Switch, especially on that left one. But I guess if anything, it does give you a snug fit. Let's talk buttons and sticks. The main face buttons are, I'd say, a medium size. They're not too wiggly, not too high, and as you can hear, they're clicky. That's because every button on here are on Omron micro switches. That makes them super clicky with a tactile feel that is just so satisfying to use. But they are a bit loud, so they're not the best to use at a library or funeral.
Well, I guess that depends on the funeral.
Up top, we have nicely sized shoulder buttons that work well all the way throughout. And we have wide triggers that curve upward with a very small travel distance. Then on the rear, we have the best back buttons I've tested in a while. They're well positioned, but these actually stick out and work well all throughout. We also do have all our miscellaneous buttons, along with these program ones for those extra settings. And we have reset holes on the back down here. The analog sticks are about the same size as the ones on the official Joy-Cons, but they're longer with grippy stick tops, and underneath we have metal wrap sticks to prevent them from wearing down. And you'll be glad to know that yes, they're Hall effect joysticks, so drift is out of the equation. They have a good resistance, and they're also easy to click in. And remember, we do have the option of using those octagonal stick rings if you prefer. As for the extra pair of stick tops, sadly, they're all the same size, but I guess it's nice to have some extra ones just in case. As you saw, we have 2 options for the D-pad. The traditional cross, or this circular one, which is my preference since it's so easy to travel around. The pivot on here is a bit steeper than I'm used to, but it works really well, and it's also using those micro switches. Now let's talk features. They're wireless with a 2500 milliamp battery that should give you about 15 hours of playtime. Unlike some of the others, they don't have USB-C ports, so you can only charge them via the rails when attached to the console. Now, like the Joy-Cons, they work in all 3 modes, that being in handheld, tabletop, and TV mode. They can wake the Switch, They can be used as individual controllers, albeit with a bit of an awkward layout. They've got motion controls, and yes, they have rumble, but inside we actually have Alps linear motors, which gives us HD rumble. Very rare to see on a third-party controller, and it actually works really well, if not better than the official ones. Another rare addition, these actually have NFC support for Amiibo. Very cool. Now, they're also compatible with their app, but I couldn't get it to work with my phone. With it, you can tweak settings, update firmware, remap those back buttons to any other, and more. So here's hoping they keep updating it, because I'd love to test that out with them. Now, these next features, like with all these split pad style controllers, keep in mind that these settings only apply to the individual controller you set them on, since they cannot communicate to one another. So for example, if you use turbo on the left one, it'll only apply to the inputs on that specific controller, so that makes something like macros a bit awkward. First, we have an on-the-fly turbo function with an auto or continuous fire mode. You'd be surprised how many other controllers leave that function out. If that's not enough, it goes further with a 3-speed adjustment. Very nice. And finally, we also have a macro feature that lets you assign those recordings to the back buttons, but it goes further with a very useful looping feature that you can toggle on and off with a double tap. This is awesome, especially with games that have you farming or grinding a lot of repetitive, annoying tasks. So who is this for? I mean, clearly it's for anyone who wants a premium version of Joy-Cons. That being those who like the versatility of this split pad style and a more ergonomic design. It makes handheld feel awesome, but you can still use them individually. As for games, thanks to those micro switches, it's fantastic for just about any that requires quick and precise inputs. That being intense games such as shooters, since you still have motion controls, fighters, thanks to that D-pad, especially the circular one, and even platformers or roguelikes thanks to those inputs and analog sticks. Now, if all you play are slow or turn-based games, yeah, it works, but it's sort of overkill for that. So if you've been on the hunt for a pro version of Joy-Cons, you guys were right. These are definitely one of the best I've come across. They're not perfect, but the pros easily outweigh the cons. And considering they cost just as much as a new pair of official Joy-Cons, they're a no-brainer. So now I'll hand it off to you guys. Let me know what you think of them, and let's talk in the comments. Also, if you're looking to pick up anything we featured in this video and want to support us at the same time, because these do get expensive, please check out the affiliate links in the description below. Once again, I'm Sergio AM. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you for the next box. If you like this video and want to help us out, click that thumbs up button and leave a comment below so we can talk. Now, if you want to go further, subscribe and ding the bell to stay notified whenever we post a new video. You made it to the end, and I just want you to know that you are the reason we do what we do. This is Sergio AM, and I'll see you for the next box.